Hi, it's plank time on Chittarupa Yoga and Fitness. I'm Laura Wilson, a certified personal trainer, and today, like I said, it's all about planks. We're going to work that transverse abdominis, all of our core muscles, get a little upper body in there as well. All you'll need is a mat, maybe some cushioning for your knees if you want to do some modified planks today, and we will look at some modifications for those. While you're getting all that ready, also make sure to check the links below. There will be some more warm-ups and some deep stretches for our core as well. And as always, there's that Patreon link, a place where you can financially support me for just $5 a month, helping to bring all this content here to YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So let's start on our hands and knees. We're just going to begin with a cat and cow warm-up. Inhale as we arch and lift. Exhale as we press forward. Moving with our own breath. Inhale and exhale. And we really do want to get in touch with our breath. Let's come back to a neutral spine, and we're going to move side to side, like we're going to touch our shoulder and our hip. Let's also look over, see if we can see our hip. Now let's come back to the center. We're going to separate our knees to the edges of our mat, and let's do some hip circles. So we're already working our core a bit. Let's change directions. Now let's come back for a moment and take our wrists in the opposite direction, and then control how much stretch we give to this. So as we're doing our planks, you may find that you want to use fists instead of open palms. If you happen to have some dumbbells that you can hold on to here, that'll help keep the wrists lined up without as much pressure on the hands. And we can also use a wedge or some way to prop the back of the hands up and the fingertips down a little bit. That takes some of that pressure off. We're also going to look at some options on our forearms. So let's start with just our basic plank and look at some variations on it. So let's begin here, fingers spread wide, wrists under our shoulders. We're going to find our cat pose. A lot of people would tell you to draw shoulders together to your hips, but that actually isn't as strong or as shoulder friendly. So let's separate our shoulder blades like our cat pose, and we're going to step back into our plank. Now there's a tendency to kind of go more for a downward dog, and with women, our center of gravity is here, so sometimes we fall down. Let's see if we can keep everything straight, and if staying on our toes is too much, we can bring this to our knees. But again, no sagging or high lifting. Let's see if we can get it nice and even. Now let's press back to child's pose for a moment. So a lot of times you'll hear people talk about doing plank for 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Anything more than 1 minute is literally too much. Our body will start to compensate and actually start to hurt and create damage to our shoulders, core, hips, if we hold a plank for too long. So 1 minute max at any given time. You can do 8 minutes a day, 30 seconds at a time, or 1 minute at a time. Let's take our elbows underneath our shoulders here. And now we're going to separate that out. Let's try a plank. We're just looking at basic planks for a moment. Find that cat pose, separate the shoulder blades, tuck our chin slightly. And again, let's step it out and keep everything level. Lifting through the shoulders, lifting our spine to the ceiling, coming to our knees if we need to, or just want to. And both ways are challenging, just like doing it on forearms versus arms. We're not going to hold ours for that long today. Now let's go ahead and lower down, and we can rest right here. This is also a good place to kind of check in with how our core muscles and hips are feeling, how our shoulders and arms are feeling. We probably also noticed that our heartbeat has increased. Let's come back to hands and knees. Arm balances get our heart rate going. So this is one way to get, some cardio without having to do a lot of jumping around. So we've looked at basic plank on our hands. We've looked at it on forearms. If you have a preference, then go for that one. Particularly if wrists don't like being up in this position, forearms is a good option. Let's find cat pose from whichever of those positions we're doing. And we are going to step back again. So some of us may find that we need to be on our knees for today, and that is perfectly fine. Some of us, though, have been doing this a while, so we might want the challenge of lifting one foot up. Staying focused, lowering that foot. Let's lift the other. Let's lower that one. And again, taking a little break. Child's pose. We can even sit up. Again, our heart rate goes up. It may feel better to sit up and kind of let things, here I am breathing heavy. So just take a moment to recover from that. We can also take a counter stretch, opening up our chest, yes. And again, there will be a link to more stretches below the video. So let's look at some ways, other ways that we can amp this up. And we'll still stay from our basic plank. So let's start on our wrists. And again, find a variation if you need to. We can do this one on forearms. Any variation that we choose, let's lift into that cat pose. I'm going to stay up because it's easier for me to talk this way. And we're going to step back into our plank. And we're going to look at twisting it today. So our feet go like a side plank, but both arms stay on the floor. And then we want to lift our hips up. Keep lifting up. Getting a bit more oblique today. Yeah, I'm going to be breathing hard when I'm done this one. Breathe. Let's unwind and come back down. Whew. And again, take that counter stretch. We're going to do some side stretching too. So take as long a break as you need. These are some more complex planks that we're doing today. Shall we twist to the other side now? All right, let's do it. Twist. And again, keeping the hips lifting up. Part of the problem with holding a plank for too long is you start to adjust and adapt. You lose that strength right there. And again, your body starts to injure. We also want to make sure that we're breathing. Let's unwind and bring it down. Now let's go ahead and take a gate pose. Stretch out a little bit. So this will give us a chance to be up and breathe. Stretch out those side muscles that we just worked. And again, make sure to breathe any way that you need to. Like I said, arm balances will get your heart rate up. Let's switch to the other side. And we'll even go ahead and take a camel pose here. So I hope you're ready for just a little bit more planking. All right, let's come back up. We're going to do these on our forearms. Hopefully. All right, so let's find our cat. And let's keep our knees right where they are actually. We're going to lift into our dolphin. This one's going to be a little bit different. And then we're going to start to walk our feet down into our plank. Pressing our navel up, let's walk our feet back in to our dolphin and back to our plank. Walking into dolphin. One more time on the plank. Now let's lower all the way down. Taking those deep breaths. And we're actually going to stay here for a little bit of stretching. I don't know about you, but those few minutes really did a number on my core. I think I've had my core for the day. So let's keep our shoulders relaxed. Breathing deeply. Lowering down. Let's take another rest. Back bends get our heart rate up as well. So take a few deep breaths here. Let's do that one more time. Shoulders relax. Now let's press ourselves up and come around and just have a seat. We are done with our planks. We're just going to stretch everything out for a moment. Let's just take a nice easy side stretch here. So do me a favor, and in the comments below, let me know which way you prefer to do your plank. Do you prefer on your hands or forearms? And let me know why as well. I'm so used to doing it on my wrists, it's easier that way. So I prefer that way, but I know I need to do more on the forearms just because of the challenge and the increase in strength gains that it gives me. So let me know which way you prefer to do it and why. Let's reach up, open everything up, and be sure to check that Patreon link for me as well. And there are more stretches and stuff in the description below as well. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you next time.